see what happens when you go live. You have technical difficulties. So you saw us, then you didn't see us, then you saw us, then you didn't see us. But now we're here, so it's all fine.
I hope you couldn't see me dancing then to your music. It's great.
Oh, I wish we could.
Oh, next time.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the BFF show. So today I am super excited because I've got two of my accounting BFFs here. We've got Johann and Caroline. Would you like to introduce yourself, please, Caroline, if you would like to go first? Ladies first.
Yeah, absolutely. Morning, everybody. My name is Caroline Hobden. I am the Portfolio Director for Accountex. And I know we're going to be talking a lot about that today, so I will keep it short and sweet.
Perfect. Johann?
Good morning, everyone.
Know Johann, to be honest.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Johann. I am the Group Managing Director of OnPoint Accounting and podcast co-host for Ask the Accountant and co-founder of Client Engager.
I was going to say, you forgot one there, didn't you?
I need one of those scrolls to read off all my titles.
Yeah, you just got too much going off at the minute, haven't you?
Yeah, telling me.
From BFF, as I've already just mentioned as well. So if you are watching us today live, if you could just put hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching later on after the live event, put hashtag replay. That would be perfect. Let us know where you're watching from, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and whereabout in the world you're watching as well. Last week when I had Sam Newton on, who's a current Yorkshire Accountant of the Year, we had people watching from all over the world. So it's like, yay, gone global. Brilliant. So this show is very timely indeed because, as you will all know, accountants and bookkeepers, that Accountex Manchester is coming up in 2 weeks' time. If you didn't know that, where the hell have you been? So we're going to be talking all about today what happens at accountancy shows, what you're missing out on if you don't go, and what happens afterwards, and so much more as well. So, Caroline, can you tell us a little bit then about Accountex Manchester? Because it's not just in Manchester, is it? You do London, and you've got them in Canada as well, I believe. But this upcoming one is Manchester. What sort of happens at Accountex?
Absolutely, yeah. So the next one in the portfolio is Accountex Manchester, as you said, taking place on the 19th of September at Manchester Central. So we're looking forward to a jam-packed day. There's a whole program with many amazing speakers in there. There's a huge exhibitor list, so lots of vendors there to chat to. We've got lots of exciting things taking place during the day, and we just can't wait. We're in that really exciting time right now where it's the lead up to the show, and you can't wait to be on site. But the portfolio is much bigger than that as well. We have got Accountex London, which takes place in May. So the next one coming up in 2024. And that is the largest accounting event in the world. So we can't wait to bring that back again. And then we've also got Accountex in Spain and Accountex in Canada as well. So yeah, it keeps us very busy. And if that wasn't enough, we've also got a whole host of virtual events which we run throughout the year, and we also run an industry-wide newsletter as well called Accounting Insight News. So yeah, we don't twiddle our thumbs here. We got a little bit to keep us going.
Yeah, you sound quite busy, so that's really good. I didn't actually know that you got Accountex Spain as well, so that's quite good. Was that an annual event as well?
Yeah, we launched that last year in Madrid. It has to be one of the best launches I've ever been a part of, to be totally honest. It just got 3,000 people straight off the bat. It was incredible. It was buzzing from start to finish. And we've got year 2 coming up in November. So yeah, really thrilled to bring that one back again.
Brilliant. I mean, I've been an accountant for a long time, like 27, 28 years now. And I've been to so many Accountex events. Like, I think I've only missed out on one. And that was due to surgery, and I had such FOMO from not being there. But Johann, how many Accountex events have you been to, if you can remember? Or how many have you not been to?
So I've not done a huge amount of the Accountex ones, you know. I think I've done the Accountex London twice.
Off this live, Caroline, quick.
Oh, God, I'm getting a bit faint here, Johann.
Like pre-COVID, it wasn't Accountex wasn't on my. Well, I knew of it, but it was a long trip down to London for me. So yeah, no, I've done London twice now, and I've done Manchester once, and I'm obviously there next week as well. Not next week, the week after as well.
Yeah, the week after. Yeah, brilliant. So what I wanted to say is, just to start it off then, what actually happens at the show? So you've mentioned that there's loads of vendors there, Caroline. Are you allowed to announce how many is going to be there vendor-wise in Manchester, or is that a secret?
Yeah, no, absolutely. God, I wish I knew the exact figure. We've got over 110.
Wow.
We're completely sold out for Manchester space. It's a little different to the way we run London. So anyone who's been to Accountex London will know that it's a huge event. It's vast with massive stands, they range from small stands to the huge sort of over 200 square meter ones. Whereas in Manchester, we do more of a pod system. So the stands are all of a similar size. There are little variations to it, but they are of a similar size. But it's more of an intimate event, I think, is the best way to describe it. And I think anyone who's not been there before, I think it's a really good starting point to come to Manchester to really get a feel of what these shows are really truly about. Because I think that probably the best thing about coming to any Accountex event or any industry-led event is that you are going to be surrounded by your peers. You're going to be immersed into the world of accounting and finance all in one day. And there's so much to absorb, from the incredible content in the program to all the networking conversations that you're going to have. There'll be softwares that you didn't know were there, or there will be enhancements to the software you're already using. And it's the conversations that you don't know you're going to have that I all think are probably the best takeaways when you come to these shows. And it's when people come up to me and said, do you know what, I wasn't going to come, and then I came along to your show and I learned this, and I met this person, and I've done this, and now my business has been enhanced, my bottom line's increased, I've got a great future, my career's developed, and I've done all this. And that for me is why we do this, and it just makes it so rewarding.
It really does. And like you said, that's just the tip of the iceberg that you've just said there. There is just so much to see and do. And a lot of it happens after the event as well, doesn't it? Once you've got back to the office and you've digested everything, and that's when you can start making things work. But another thing as well is that you get, there's the vendors, like we've said, there's all the presentations as well. I think that, as we were talking just before we went live, Caroline, there's still so many accountants and bookkeepers that have never been to an event. And I think it might be because they're a little bit scared and they don't know what to expect. Well, hopefully, obviously, we'll go through everything in this show about that. But I just feel that every single accountant and bookkeeper has to go to these. This should be just part of your firm's curriculum, that you have to attend these, because you just gain so much valuable knowledge and information. There's nothing bad other than sore feet, which we'll mention later, that you've got to wear the right footwear, haven't you? There's nothing bad at all about going to see. Everything is good and positive. And if you come this time, you're going to see Johann. You're going to think he's like, you've met a rock star. He's so famous. Then you go like, whoa, that's Johann in real life. Tell us what you're going to be doing there, Johann.
So first of all, I will be filming our grid walk, which is where Aaron and I, for Ask the Accountant, get early door access. People like Caroline are fantastic for facilitating this for us. We go around and we hassled all the vendors while they're setting up their stands. And we we look at the stages, we look at the speakers, and we go, oh, this one would be good, or that's a worthwhile one, or don't miss this. Speak to the vendors. What swag have they got? Are they announcing anything new? The important swag, etc. So we do that, what we call the grid walk. So Aaron and I are big F1 fans, and we love Martin Brundle's little grid walk at the start of every race. So we try to replicate that. Then I am speaking on stage with you, Bev, with your topic. And then I'm spending the rest of the day with Aaron doing the podcast interviews. So we're doing absolutely tons of 30-minute podcast interviews. Accountex have kindly asked us to be there as their official podcast provider. So we're going to be recording absolutely tons of 30-minute podcasts about why people are there, what are they getting out of the day, what are their highlights of the day, just to help people understand why these events are so important and why they should go next year if they've already missed this year's.
We've got Lorraine watching as well. She said she's got her sketches ready. That is a good advice and tip, really, Lorraine. Good. We'll just quickly mention the footwear situation because I'm a bit stupid as well, because last year I came in heels and I've done this a long time. I've been to lots of these events, but I still thought, you know what, I'm tough. I'm from Sheffield. I'm going to wear my heels. Oh my God, I've got so many blisters at the end of the day. Because you just do miles of walking, don't you, to be honest? So yeah, it's not a fashion show, Bev. Wear your trainers.
Comfy footwear is essential. It's always top of my list. In fact, I have a list which I keep with me all the time. If anyone says to me, what's your top tips? Comfy footwear. Trainers are part of your fashion statement now, Bev. You can do it.
I'll wear trainers this time with my purple suit. That sounds fantastic, Johann, that you're going to be doing that. So you're going to be interviewing vendors as well as accountants as well as the vendors, should I say?
Anybody that's walking past the stand and wants to have a 30 minutes of fame and have an episode and tell us all why they're here today, what they're getting out of it, what they're enjoying, what they're looking forward to later on in the day, why they come to these events. Like the script will be pretty much the same for everyone we interview.
Yes.
But yeah, basically we want to get this message across that events aren't a time waste of a day. They aren't just a quick and easy way to get your CPD certificate. They're not a way to skive out the office for the day. They are incredibly valuable. I wouldn't be here today talking to you guys or where I am in my business if it wasn't for events.
I think accounting events have come a long way in the last few years as well, because I hope this is not mean for me to say, but like going back like 10, 15 years, for me, it was just like, how many notepads can I pick up? How many pens can I pick up and stuff? But now I understand the value of coming to these shows. It's just brilliant. And can we just move on to talking about connections as well that you can make? Because we spoke about this prior, haven't we, Johann, as well, about the connections that you've made and that have now made a lasting impression with yourself.
Yeah. Like you don't know what the conversations are going to be. You can always plan what sessions I'm going to go to and what software people I want to go talk to, but it's off the back of Accountex London last year that Aaron and I decided to go and do Ask the Accountant. We knew of each other from QuickBooks and we bumped into each other a few times, but it was off the conversation of having a pint that we decided to do that, and we're now nearly a year in.
That short space of time then?
Pardon?
Have you only just known each other that short space of time?
Aaron and I have known each other or of each other since the start of COVID.
Right.
When we were doing Ask the Expert for QuickBooks.
Right.
Met for the first time in person at Accountex London, the first one after COVID, which was last year's one, I think, wasn't it?
It was 2022.
Yeah. So yeah. And at that event, we decided we're going to do the podcast.
Wow. And now look at it.
Yeah. And so, but also like, that's the event where I first met Joe Woods face to face. So Digital Accountancy Show this year was the first time I met Joe Woods face to face, and it's from that chat that I then made an acquisition of her firm in the last few weeks. Wow. You just don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what conversations you're going to have.
Aaron knows it all through Accountex, Caroline. Look at that.
I love you, Aaron. The check is in the post.
Don't send it to him. We don't trust him with the money.
All right. I'll send it to you.
The accountant, you don't trust him with the money. Another thing as well is not everybody is sort of extrovert like me and you, Johann. We are not shy. We're quite happy to go up to people and start conversations. Some people may feel a little bit intimidated by going to these large-scale events and that they're going to get bugged. Like you go on holiday to Egypt and you walk down the road and everybody's like, come into my restaurant, da, 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 da. I think some people feel it's like that. Caroline, can you reassure people that if they've not been before, it's definitely not like that?
Absolutely. And I do think if you are a little bit nervous about coming to trade shows, there's so many things that you can do to prepare yourself. Number one, my biggest recommendation would be to go on the website and have a look at the program and have a look at the exhibitor list. And you can actually plan out your day, plan out who you want to go see. You can go onto the schedule on the website and actually add it to your own diary. Go and have a look at the exhibitor list and work out who you want to go and see throughout the day. So you're going to turn up with a ready-made plan, ready to go. So that should give you some reassurance. When you come, you can register in advance. Absolutely recommend that. And you can actually print your badge at home so that when you could turn up, all you've got to do is bring that with you. You get a lanyard and you're in. So you're not going to be sort of disturbed by lots of people trying to confuse you with registration desks and things. And then we've got an info point the minute you walk in the door. So if you've got any questions, if you're not sure of something, there will be someone there to reassure you, give you guidance and give you direction. Manchester's a very simple layout. You're not going to get lost at Manchester. We have 4 theatres in each of the corners, so very easy to navigate your way around. All the sessions last for 45 minutes, which gives you plenty of time to then get to your next session. And the hall isn't overwhelming. It's actually very well laid out as well, so you can make your way around. And I just have to say that I've worked across many, many different professions over 20 years, and the accounting profession and the vendors that work within this profession are incredibly respectful, and they are incredibly kind and friendly. So you're really not going to find yourself being oppressed by hundreds of people trying to talk to you. I think they will be respectful of your space that you need and the time that you need. And I'd just also like to say that at the end of the day, when you're leaving at 5 o'clock, there's also some drinks on us. So, what a way to end off your day, to have a few drinks in company that you know well before you make your way home. So yeah, hopefully, I think if you take those processes, put those processes in place and prepare your day, then I think you will get the best out of it. But don't forget to put things that you've learned from the day into action as well afterwards. That is the most important thing. You'll hear some wonderful tips, some wonderful things that you can do to change your career, your business, your personal development. You've got to make some time to put them into practice as well.
They are brilliant tips, definitely. I think if you just come sort of on the day and you've never been before, the preparation part is crucial. And thank you so much, Lorraine. She's already planned the sessions, booked them in a diary, and she's created an itinerary to print. That's perfect. I mean, Lorraine, you've been before many times, so you know the score. But yeah, that's what people should do, absolutely. And the itinerary and everything's there already online, isn't it, Caroline, for people to see who's doing what talking, which theatres and what time, and the vendors and stuff.
Lorraine gets a gold star, 100%. That's exactly what you should do. Absolutely.
Extra free drink for Lorraine at the end of the day.
Yes, on me.
Also, Claire Kendall, thank you so much for sharing this, that you've got anxiety. Thank you for saying that. And that you love Accountex Manchester and you do find it stressful, but you do, you are saying there, you're reiterating what Caroline is just saying, that there's no pushy or selling. And that you do enjoy it. So that's really good that you've mentioned that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claire.
Johann, then, so during the day, we've just said what's going to happen. There's loads of stuff. You need to plan, you need to prepare, you need to wear comfy shoes. You're going to make loads of connections. You're going to meet vendors that you already know and use. You're going to meet vendors that are new on the market, and maybe there's some software on there that you think, you know what, I need that in my practice. And Caroline's just touched on the point that, because you get so motivated. When I leave these events, you're buzzing, aren't you? Like, you've learnt so much. It's like, I'm going to do this in my practice. I'm going to do that. And then the following day comes, the phone's ringing, your clients are on the phone, you've got VAT returns, you've got payroll, and sometimes you forget about it. You shouldn't do that. What are your tips as a practice owner, Johann, to make the most out of Accountex and accounting events after the event?
So if, like me, you seem to know everybody and anybody at these events, be prepared not to make any sessions and to miss everything you've planned, and never have time to go and see any of the vendors and have a proper conversation. So take your team, let them go and do that. Let them go and do the sessions. Let them go and talk to the vendors while you're stood around having a bit of a chat and a gossip, which pretty much is my day normally at these things. But make sure not only have you blocked out the day in the diary for the event, but block out a morning or the afternoon the next day for a debrief. Whether that's you're debriefing yourself and going, right, this is all my notes, what am I going to action, when I'm going to action it, or whether you're debriefing your team.
Yeah.
Have a debrief scheduled into your diary so that you can start planning your actions.
Do you know what? That is a really good idea as well, because for accountants and bookkeepers, they've got the practices. This is not just for them, the business owners, it's for the team as well. And I know that you obviously acquired my practice, didn't you, last year, Johann? And everybody knows this, that's nothing new. And you took my team over, and you took George with you, and he'd never been to an event before.
And he's going to Accountex Manchester as well.
Oh, brilliant. What does that mean to share this with your team as well? Like, how does it make them feel? How does it, do you know what I mean? What does it mean to them?
I don't know if I can speak about what it means to them, but what I think it really values, what they really value is seeing what the industry is actually like outside of the office walls. Like, George didn't realize how non-shirt and tie and chilled out and how friendly and a culture we have in our industry. and now he does. And he's
Yeah.
been looking forward to Accountex Manchester all year. So
that's so
he's coming along. He goes around. He talks to software vendors. He's already got his sessions planned. He wants to go to. Like the value they get out of it's huge, and the gratitude they have for you to say, "Don't worry about work today. Go and do this." They love it.
That's what I mean, like what it means to them as the fact that, it's not just a business owner taking time out to go and develop themselves. It's developing your team as well, and they'll feel so much better for it that you are involving them, and it's not just about the owner. Like your practice is a team thing. So to have your team there as well and to experience all that, it's just such a good thing to happen. And I love it that
not just Johann out on the jolly again.
Exactly, that's what it is. Yeah. Oh, Penelope's just come on. Hi, Penelope. She's bringing her son with it into Manchester. He now works for you part-time. Brilliant. Amazing. That's
so
brilliant.
Great. That's so great. I would just say as well, I think that's a lovely point that you brought up about bringing your team, because everyone that I've spoken to who bring their teams to the show, they just say they're just so energized. They've gone back to work the next day and they are so energized and they're excited about their job again and they want to put things into practice. And I think I do agree. I think it's a fantastic day out, and it isn't a jolly. It really isn't. They are working very hard and they're learning a lot. There may be a few drinks at the end of the day, but it's something in there for everyone. So I think it's a great idea to bring your team and everyone can be learning together.
That is a really good tip, because they see the other side of the accounting world, don't they? Not just sat there doing the stuff for the clients, which obviously is crucial, but they see the other side. They see the vendors, they see the sessions and stuff like that. So we've mentioned that myself and Johann are on stage 10:15 Theatre 4. Just to get that in your diaries, everybody. And the title of my presentation is "I'm an Accountant, Get Me Out of Here." So I know that sounds a little bit controversial, but come along and watch us. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be giving you tips and advice and hints on how you should be running your accounting practice right now as if it's ready to sell. Even if you've no plans to sell, you should be running your practice as if it is at the highest possible value. You have got a saleable asset there, and a lot of people don't understand or realize, and sometimes they run it as if it's a hobby. So we're going to give you some tips and advice on getting your practice to be amazing. You've also got Richard McCann, who's a friend of mine as well, who's the best. I'm going to say it, to be honest. I'm just going to say it. In my eyes, he's the best motivational speaker I've ever seen. And I've seen him a few times. He's brilliant. I'm not going to tell you too much about his story because you've got to come along and watch him. But who else have we got lined up, Caroline? What's the gist of the other presentations on the day?
Oh, we have got so much going on. We are covering an incredible amount of topics. We are so excited about this program. We're going to be covering everything from, obviously the compliance stuff is going to be in there. That is true to form. It's going to be there. But we've got cybersecurity. We've got money laundering. We've got DE&I session.
Anti-money laundering, not money laundering.
Sorry, God, no, sorry. Anti-money laundering.
People have to money laundering. Right,
we don't encourage money laundering at Accountex. I would just like to reiterate that point. Thank you, Bev. We've got mergers and acquisitions, recruitment, sustainability, DE&I, mental health. There's just such an amazing array of presentations. I think that probably the area that people are most excited about is still the topic of AI. Right. It's something that we all know about, we read about, but we don't really know how it's going to affect us or how it's going to affect the profession. So we have got a few sessions throughout the day on AI, which I thoroughly recommend everyone come to watch because I think they're really thrilling.
Yeah, no, it's definitely up there at the moment, isn't it? In the news, what everyone's looking at. Is it a threat? Is it a hindrance? Is it good for us? And I know you've done a session about ChatGPT before, haven't you, online? Johann and I have as well. Lorraine Ellison's put as well that when she brought her team to Accountex, that's when they signed up to Ignition, which is brilliant. Also, Penelope, she's just saying that she's on at 11:15. That's good. That's after hours then. So everybody can come and see our presentation. And then Penelope's sustainability. Brilliant.
And Richard's before yours. Richard McCann's before yours. Then.
Penelope's. Right. That's it. Everybody get them in your diaries. So you said about after the event, Johann, you have the team briefing. Then what happens?
So I was just thinking, I travel a long way for these events. Everyone always says, Johann, you always come so far. why do you take so much time? So I'm in Edinburgh. And then, so people that are just outside the M25 and moan that Excel Arena is too far away, sod off. So
Exactly.
the travel is so important. So I refuse to drive to these events. I always get the train.
Yeah.
Because that gives me time to reflect and plan for the conference ahead on the train there. And it gives me time on the train back to just debrief myself and unpack all of the information I've taken on. So that's a hugely valuable time. I think people see the traveling as a bit of a waste of time, but actually it's so important to get your head in the right headspace, switch off from all of the work stuff, and then just unpack what you've taken away for a couple of hours or an hour. In my case, it's 4.5 hours on the train. But that time's so valuable for me. And that's why I always make sure I travel the day before, I do the event and the evening, and I travel the day afterwards.
Yeah.
So I really commit to making sure I've got the time to get ready, prepare, go, and unpack it all. And for anyone that sees that as a waste of money, seriously, give it a go, because the value you get out of the day is phenomenal, whether it's through events, through the speaking sessions or the vendors or the networking. Now, most of the networking will happen in the evening, but it's not an accounting conference if there's not a 60-meter long queue for the coffee vendors. So networking in that coffee line is a great place to network. Just say to the person in front of you, hi, how are you? Where are you from? Same to the person behind you. And then when you go to sit down for that coffee, there won't be enough tables and chairs. You will have to share a table with someone, have a conversation with that person at that table. It encourages networking. And I've got some amazing contacts out of that.
Yeah.
So we've got all that. And then the evening, it's fantastic for networking with vendors as well as your own peers. And some of the best softwares I use today have come from those informal conversations in the evening. But then you take all of that, and whether you've gone by yourself or whether you've gone with your team, you need to have that session where you go, right, what did everyone learn?
Yeah.
What are we taking away? Who do we need to contact vendor-wise to follow up on that initial conversation? And then start coming up with your action plans and scheduling tasks in your task planner and stuff for it. And follow it all through. That's just so important. Otherwise, yes, it is a wasted day. If you turn up, go home at 4 o'clock and do nothing about it, it's a complete waste of time. Completely get that. But yeah, if you have that debriefing session, it's so valuable. And it doesn't have to be like formal with an agenda or anything. It's just a conversation over a coffee. It might take 15 minutes. It might take 2 hours, depending if you're having a debrief with Bev in Starbucks, it's going to cost you 2 or 3 pumpkin spice lattes. But literally just, right, we're going to follow up on this. Oh, I had a really interesting chat with so-and-so. Right, share that conversation with the group.
Yes.
What was it? What was the takeaway? What do we need to do? Do we need to discuss it? Do we need to trial something? Do we need to get another meeting in the diary? Come up with your action plans and just be as committed to it as you are to delivering a client's tax return.
Exactly. And where can you go to see all this much stuff in one place, and especially all the vendors as well? Like you may be, you might be a startup and you might be thinking, should I use QuickBooks or should I use Xero from a bookkeeping? They're going to be there, so you can go and see them and you can get the live demos from them, 1-to-1. You're not going to get that anywhere else. We've got a quick question as well from the lovely Lorraine again. Caroline, she's booked in a session for lunch. Are you able to share what options there are for lunch and seats and stuff like that? Have you got the
absolutely. And I would just like to reassure everyone, we have even more coffee points than we've ever had before. So I hope you're not going to be waiting too long to get a coffee at the show this year. So rest assured there. We have a fabulous cafe. The catering team at Manchester Central are amazing, and we have got plenty of seats and chairs for everybody. So, and there will be various options that will include vegetarian and vegan as well. So there's something for everybody. And I I hope that everyone gets a coffee early doors the minute they walk in.
Some of the vendors do free stuff as well, don't they? Free coffees and free ice cream and free. What did they do at Accountex London? What's somebody doing?
Oh, there was everything. There was Pims, there was ice cream, there were shakes, there was, oh my goodness, you name it, they had it. So yeah, go ask one of the vendors. They'll be very happy to give you a free coffee, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that we've not mentioned is the cost to come to this event, Caroline. Can you tell everybody how much it costs to register for this event if you've not been before?
Absolutely. It is a whopping £0. So we just want as many people as possible to come to the show. It's all about us coming together as a community and getting people through the door. So we don't charge you a cent to come and visit the show. So yeah, just hope that encourages more of you to come along.
100%. And I'd love to see accountants and bookkeepers there that's never been before. Please come, and please do come and say hello to myself and Caroline, who will be running around like a headless chicken, no doubt. But say hello to her. She will stop and say hello.
Do you know, I'd really love that. What I'd love is someone's listened today who wasn't really sure about trade shows before, and it's encouraged them to come along. Then please do stop me. I will be running around like a headless chicken, but I've always got time to stop and chat. And Johann, you can find Johann. We've actually got a permanent position on the show floor for Johann with his podcast pit stop area.
Big head, Caroline. Seriously, he's got his own little section in the show. What have you got? A little red carpet as well going up to it, Johann, and everything.
No, we had to provide that ourselves. We've got a little lounge area and everything for people to come and sit, have a chat, watch us record. We are umming and ahhing about a few different things we've got ideas for, like F1 themed. So yeah, it should be a really fun day.
I love it.
I'm so excited about it, and I literally cannot wait. He can't come soon enough. Ashley Leeds has come on as well. He's coming.
Ashley,
he's there as well. Yes, see you in a couple of weeks, Ash. Can't wait to see you again with your yellow top on, hopefully.
He's doing a great session as well, Ashley. He's doing a really fabulous session with a great panel, so I encourage people to look out for that.
Brilliant. I let myself down at Accountex in London, and I was on a podcast with Kelly the other day, Counting Pirates, and she said the same, that I let myself down because I didn't wear purple, which is my branding. I wore blue. Like, what was I thinking? So this time I will be wearing a purple suit. So
we might lose you though, Bev, because our carpet's purple.
I know, but you've only done that for me though, haven't you?
Of course. We've rolled out the red carpet for Johann. We've rolled out the purple carpet for you. So there you go.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. This has been brilliant, and I seriously hope that everybody's super excited that's been to Accountex before, that you're excited about this one coming up in Manchester. And even more so, like we've said, if any accountants or bookkeepers are watching this and you've had little bits of doubts and reservations, we really hope we've put all those to bed and that you're going to book on. And we'll put the link in the comments below once we've done the live for you to register and get booked on. But if we can just do one tip between us, well, each of us, for what you think everybody would need to know to come to this event. I know it might be that you've already said it, but let's just reiterate it. I think for me is just to make sure that you get the best out of the day. Make sure you wear sensible shoes and don't just leave it after the show. Like we've said, don't just go to the show, get the free swag and then forget about it. You know, that you just wasted your time if you do that. Caroline, what's your top tip, please?
I think my top tip really is to plan your day. Go on the website, check it out. Have at least an idea of what you're going to try and do during the day. It might not be that you actually manage to do it, but at least you've got a really good plan. And I just also wanted to reassure everybody that by coming to the show, we really do care about the environment, about sustainability, and we are continuing our work with a fabulous company called Karma, and we're going to be planting a tree for every attendee, which we did in London. We planted over 10,000 trees in London. So, just to reassure anybody that is concerned about travel that we are doing that on your behalf. So I would just love to see you there.
Oh, that's lovely, that. Thank you, Caroline, and Accountex team. Johann?
Sensible shoes. I mean, I've been in training for 4 weeks by standing at my desk for 4 solid weeks now, so that my feet are going to be able to maintain standing all day at Accountex. It's not as much the amount of steps you do as the fact that you've stood up all day. You'll be surprised how unready you are for that.
Is this why you bought your stand-up desk then, in preparation for Accountex?
I'm in training all year round to not have sore feet at the end of every account conference I go to. But yeah, just make sure you plan that debrief time afterwards.
Yeah, 100%. Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, I've got a couple of tips from people watching as well. Should we just show them as well? Claire said, set reminders on your phone because she loses track of time by chatting.
Great idea.
That is a good idea. Yeah, if you want to see, for example, 10:15:34, Bev and Johann, and just say that one more time. And you know, it's 10 minutes past 10. It's like, oh, you forget, don't you, if you're chatting with somebody, like you just said, if you've made a new connection. So that's a good tip. And Ashley says, my top tip: lip balm and hand cream.
Which conference has he gone to?
I was just trying to think of something to say that's not. Can you read?
There is a lot of handshaking and there's a lot of talking. So water. Always have a bottle of water. Your throat.
Ashley might go around kissing everybody. Maybe why he needs.
He is a hugger.
He is a hugger. He might also.
Like Accountex London, I've never been hugged by so many different people in all my life.
I love that. And I will say, Johann just mentioned the water element. We do have water stations on site as well, so you'll be able to refill water bottles and things on site. So
that's good. Oh, it's put just before we go, let's have a look. Seriously, your lips and hands get dry. Okay, fair point then. We brought it back in line. That's fine. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this live BFF show today, all about Accountex and attending accounting shows. Thank you ever so much, Caroline. I know you're super busy 2 weeks running up to Accountex. So
thank you so much.
And Johann, thank you so much. And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks live. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.